FPL Game Week 4 is nearly here, and today we've got Kieran's possible free hit draft to look at. Welcome to the Armband. I'm your host, Chris. Kieran is obviously here with me too. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good. Apprehensive. Lots of decisions to make about what I'm going to do, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it'd be a good one. So in today's episode, we've got a few things to cover. We're going to take a look at Kieran's current lineup going into Game Week 4, then his proposed free hit option. We'll also be taking a look at my team too, talking about my transfers. And just while you're watching today, if you've got any questions, your biggest FPL dilemma of the week, drop it in the comment below and we'll get to them after the video. We also want to say thank you for all the support we've been getting on the videos. We're only 7 subscribers now away from 4,600. So if you're not subscribed, enjoying it, please do smash, hit, tap, whatever you need to do on that subscribe and or like button. So we can blast this YouTube algorithm. And yeah, just to say thanks really for the support. Right, should we jump straight into it, Keek? And
yeah, have you got my? Yeah,
I've got your team for
up.
this week, and it's funny because when you said on Tuesday, like after we did the show, you were like, "My team for this game week just sucks," and I was like, "Does it?" And you sent me this, and I was just like, "Oh, it does look a bit."
Yeah. So yeah, it's got Sales against Arsenal, not great. Cucurella, fine. Anderson against Leeds, fine. Porro, fine. But then I still own Palmer. Who's obviously red flagged at the moment. You said he's been pitched in training, or not like
in the dressing
straight
room.
off him, but like in the background. Okay, or is it in the dressing room?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was on the pitch, so that's not so great.
That's not as good, right?
And then yeah, no, well I don't think so. I'd rather see him on grass if he's going to be pitched in the training. But yeah, so Vert's still in there. Possible issue. Who knows of him at this point? Rodgers, Bruno, João Pedro, Wood, and Watkins. Yeah, so like possible moves I could just do if I don't free hit. I'm thinking about possibly Salah in for Palmer and then Cucurella down to Richards. So I cover Salah for captaincy because I really don't have any good captaincy option in this team. Considering Palmer's not there and I sold Saka recently, so those two have just gone basically from my team. So so I could do that, and I cover the Palace defense a little bit. I cover captaincy and Salah, and yeah, the team would look a lot better if I did that. But that would require a hit. And it's exact money for Richards because obviously. But I would prefer a Lacroix or a Munoz, and in that scenario I can't do that. So so instead I am starting to look at the free hit. Wildcard might be a bit option, but free hit is staring me in the face just for this week because I think the team after this week, if Palmer comes back, is not too bad. So so if you want to go on to the free hit team,
yeah, sure, yeah, I will do.
So there's. Go on, Kieran.
I was just going to say it's frustrating because you've taken. I was thinking about this before we did Tuesday's show, and like you've been just obliterated by injuries this season. You've had Frimpong, Palmer, and Saka, and then Fulkrug, obviously injured now, but you've sold him anyway in like the first 3 game weeks. So I think that's probably why your team looks, worse than it is. If you still had Saka in place for this game week, for instance, it would probably be fine.
Yeah, if Palmer was there, I'd have Palmer against Brentford, Saka against Forest. I'd be absolutely fine. Yeah. Like there would be no reason to be doing it, thinking about any of this. But yeah, so plenty of good fixtures to target. I think in this one, this week has got definitely good ones. So Newcastle at home to Forest, Arsenal at home to Newcastle at home to Wolves. Sorry, Arsenal at home to Forest, Burnley obviously versus Liverpool, and Liverpool away at Burnley. Palace at home to Sunderland, Fulham at home to Leeds, and then Chelsea away to Brentford. So those are 6 good fixtures to target on a free hit. 3 Liverpool, 3 Crystal Palace, 2 Chelsea, 2 Arsenal, 1 Newcastle, something like that. Maybe 2 Newcastle. So 3 Liverpool attack I currently have in this squad versus Burnley has obviously got the worst XGC in the league over the first 3 of 6.6, which is a whole 0.9 worse than the 19th team. So that is looking like something you want to target, especially on a free hit. Liverpool's XG as a team themselves is only 14th overall, which is obviously very poor for their standards. But 8 goals is actually the highest of all teams, so good finishing from low XG chances, which is maybe not sustainable. But you'd expect the XG to come up quite a bit versus Burnley. So it's hard to look past this game. I think for the attacking potential, you could go for Van Dijk, but with Isak's minutes and TK's sort of possibly a risk as well. Like Gapco is possibly a risk with minutes of just like who's going to share and what's going to happen there. So yeah, you could go for Van Dijk just for minutes and probably clean sheet. Probably not Defcon in this one you'd expect, but yeah. So I like those three mids though, like Salah, Verts, Gakpo. I think Verts surely due something soon. Salah captaincy seems like the most obvious captain this week.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put on Gakpo or Haaland, I guess you could do something like that. But yeah, I think the majority are going to be in this Burnley fixture on Salah. So yeah, gone for the three there. And then slight change to this team actually in defense is I have Leno there, but I'm actually looking at Pope instead.
Okay.
And he might be worth having even with Burn or Livramento as well as a double up in defense, because Newcastle have the best XGC in the league at 1.5 over the first 3 games, which is obviously pretty impressive. Those are the sort of numbers that Arsenal were putting up last season or a couple of seasons ago when they had that really elite defense. They were 1-ish XGC from 3-4 plus games, and so that was really good. So none of the Newcastle defenders though have really got anything to note from XG. So yeah, maybe Livramento is good. Burn is two games of Defcon. Shah is 1, Livramento is 0. Wolves XG actually is 2.1, which is also the worst in the league. So
great.
Best XGC versus the best XGC in the league versus the worst XG in the league says Wolves win 3-0. No, I'm honestly joking, but I think you should be looking at least one Newcastle defender. So I did put Pope in there in my free hit draft in the end. That is different from the Leno one that's in there at the moment. He's 5-0 as well, as far as I know. So good price. Burn I think is 4.5. I might be wrong, but Trippier is also 5.0. He's been taking some set pieces as well, as you've seen in the past. His numbers aren't amazing either, but I think you would want one of them. So what do you think first of all on just Liverpool or triple attack versus a defender, and then the Newcastle guys?
Yeah, I hadn't really looked at the draft when you sent off until just now, so it is a bit like the first time looking at it. I think in the midfield, I'm almost a little bit. I know the triple up for Liverpool midfielders kind of makes sense given how bad Burnley are, but I almost thought you might want to take on João Pedro in attack because of his ownership, and that's kind of what free hit is about really, circumnavigating some well-owned players. So there's an opportunity there to maybe have SEK instead of, let's say, Verts, or maybe instead of Gakpo.
It's really just because of minutes concern now. It's just Isak's been pictured in training, scoring those are goals in training, but I mean, who doesn't score goals in training?
Yeah.
But I'd say it's just it just puts the worry of just
minutes.
SEK's probably not going to play the whole game. Isak's probably going to get some minutes off the bench. It's just that worries me. Than just Verts probably plays 80 plus.
I was going to say Verts is still not guaranteed to play 90, is he? He's had 80 minute subs, but I know there's more of a real threat for Isak.
So you could kind of go for any sort of combination of Liverpool players. Really, you probably couldn't go wrong if you just VVD, Salah, Verts, Gakpo, Ekitike. You could probably just pick any 3 of them and be fine with this for this game. To be honest, so. Salah being probably has to be one of them. But
I agree.
So I think that's fine. If you want to get Ekitike, I think that's certainly a good option.
And then I think in defence, I kind of I mean, this is just a personal preference for me, but even on a free hit, I'm never a fan of a double up, because if Crystal Palace did unfathomably concede against Sunderland, you'd be pretty.
They could.
Be pretty mad about it. And I think that a Newcastle defender does make sense. We saw, it was a wonderful free hit last season for people that own Newcastle defenders, and I know last season is last season, but you've got to appreciate that Livramento, Trippier have got historically had open play threat. Pope is obviously a decent shout at 5 million as well. I'd probably rank him over Leno this game week. So I think it's definitely worthy of an inclusion again of a Newcastle player, and maybe even an attacker as well. If you wanted to get really punty, Wissa, or is it? I mean, we could just call him Voldemort.
I think Wissa's injured, as far as I know.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think he got injured in international break. So I'm not sure how
early,
bad it is, but yeah,
I suppose we'll find that out in the presses. But some Newcastle in that game, I think is probably a priority.
Gordon could be good.
Yeah, is he back from his ban? I'm not sure if he's back from his
I'm not sure actually. Yeah, he might not be. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because he looks pretty good for England. So yeah, that's what I was thinking, Gordon. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, Chelsea players then. I think this Brentford fixture is good. It's they're high owners in Pedro. Pedro is in there at the moment. I think he should do well. Like if Palmer's not back, going to continue in that 10, I guess, or the striker because Delap I think is still out, and he's getting 90 minutes now. Like not on penalties, which I thought we might heed because Enzo took one last time. But I think he's certainly a good option this week. I mean, if you could get Haaland, I don't know if it's definitely worth, like, you could consider Haaland or Reinders. The Man United fixture seems good, but at the same time, it's not that amazing. So that's why I haven't gone there just yet. But
it's a tough week for them as well. Like, free hit kind of makes sense for Chelsea, but like they've got the international break, and obviously long travelling for Enzo, João Pedro. Then it's Brentford. Is it Bayern Munich Champions League away? I think.
Is it
midweek?
Okay.
I think, and then it's Man United on like next weekend. So it's a difficult week off the back of an international break for some of those players.
Yeah, and Pedro and Enzo obviously a long way away coming back. So something to consider as well. But anyway, 6.91 XG is first of all teams for Chelsea attackers. João Pedro has 8 shots, 1.3 XG, 2 big chances, 3 kick passes, 2 big chances created, a 0.15 XA. So he's looking good on both sides of the metrics. And then Enzo has actually got his numbers like pretty much up near Pedro's, probably due to Palmer's absence. But 4 shots, half of João Pedro's, but XG of 1.82, probably due to the penalty. 3 big chances, so 1 big chance over João Pedro, 4 key passes is higher, 1 big chance created, and an XA of 0.36. So, and he's actually got 25 points, which is actually the highest scoring mid at the moment. So, it's 6.6 million. Brentford away, penalty taker, assuming Palmer's not back. You can't really go wrong with that, I wouldn't say. Like, decent-ish on DEFCON. Probably not going to get many reliably, but I think he could be a good option. Like, if maybe you cheapen down, if you don't go for him, you go to Reinders and just like get an Ekatiki or something like that, and maybe go Haaland something. But there's definitely good options for Chelsea this week. I think it just depends who you go for. Even Cucurella in defence against Brentford seems fine.
Well, I think like a wider point just on Enzo quickly. Like, we saw at the end of last season that he was like bettering Palmer, and I know he's obviously scored the penalty, which has boosted his returns, but he's actually like a viable pick now this season. His DEFCON has been 6 and 5, so it's not likely he's going to hit it. But yeah, he's like stepped up quite well in the games that Palmer's been out. So we'll just have to see what happens if Palmer's back and if he's going to get into the same positions he has been since Palmer's been out recently. So but yes, Palace players. So Sunderland at home, really good fixture. Sunderland XG is 3.06, so 16th overall. And then Palace's XG is 4.8, is 5th best. But then the XGC is 3.9, which is 8th best. So a low XG team in Sunderland with a good versus a good defense in Palace. Munoz yet to blank, as I mentioned the show the other day. Lacroix looking good for DEFCON and decent numbers he's put up so far. There's rumors that like Munoz could play in that sort of Saar position. Klein could come in as the win back option. That happened at the end of the game when Saar went off. So that could be something that's really interesting for most people. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Munoz. I was looking at Richards if I'm not doing the free hit. He's been good for DEFCON too, 4.5 and the cheapest option. But Mateta, free hit. He's absolutely. You've got to have him in there. I think Sunderland home. Confirmed on penalties. Hopefully, no more sort of yellow card celebrations of like smashing up the corner flag. But that is his kind of celebration. So I don't know. Maybe he gets told off to not do that now. But I feel like he doesn't get a yellow. I read that he doesn't get a yellow card when he's at home doing it. I don't know what sort of nonsense that is, but anyway, maybe not.
Yeah, but at the same time, he has to be in there. I think if you're free hitting this week, probably on wildcard as well. You probably have him in because the next two, and Sunderland, I think is Burnley after this, or is it Leeds? I can't remember the one.
West Ham.
Two really good short. West Ham. Okay, 2 really good short-term fixtures for Mateta, and he got 5 last week with the penalty. He hasn't scored a goal otherwise or an assist. So you're not expecting too much, but in the fixture at the same time, like the next two, you think he's going to play 90 and he's got goals in him as we've seen him in the previous. So like him this week for sure. And then Lacroix is in there for the double up in defense. Maybe I won't do that because you've put me off a little bit, but seems a bit of a no-brainer to be honest. Like 8-3 and 11 so far. DEFCON once and then 1 point off in both other games, which is unfortunate, obviously. But you'd I don't know, maybe expect him to get something this other, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you want Munoz just a more attacking threat in a game where they're probably be more likely and more likely to score and sort of boss the game, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of Palace players? Who would you be going for in this one?
I think probably the only ones, well, the ones you've picked are like the main options now. Like if Sarr is that injured, it obviously dents their attack a little bit, and with Wharton out, perhaps that like damages their progression and the ball from the midfield. So I don't think they're...
Is Wharton out, is he?
Well, he had that like injury that kept him out of the England squad, and he was like injured at the same time as Sarr, but it hasn't really been said how... It hasn't been confirmed really from Palace how long I've been out for, but I think they're the fixture on paper, and Palace's form makes you think that these next two are golden ones you want to invest in. And I think you're kind of limited with your options. If with Sarr, it's Mateta because he's on penalties, Lacroix or Richards for the DEFCON, but Lacroix's perhaps a bit more assured of that, and then Munoz for the attacking threat makes sense as well. I think on free hit you could have there's no reason why you couldn't have double, same with even if you were wildcarding, and it's a good fixture to go after. Probably on free hit like Munoz and Mateta makes more sense than Lacroix just for the fixture, because there's only one game you go for the attacking return. Go for the,
and then Arsenal players, I've not put anything about Fulham players, but Anderson is like 4.5 million, good price. Good fixture at home. They're a good defense as well, so DEFCON beast as well. So Anderson, good pick if you need the funds. Arsenal players. So on paper, probably not the easiest of fixtures of all, but like it's targeting a team who've obviously just lost their manager, so they may be vulnerable, especially in defense. The defense has been poor so far with no clean sheets and then 17th worst for XGC, which is definitely not what we expected for the start of the season with these Forest defenders, and then what we expected to be DEFCON beasts and just haven't been. Iron has got an injury in the international break as well, so that's an issue. It's going to happen. Like Ange certainly not known for being good defensively as well. So
what was your thought on that change?
It seemed very quick, didn't it? Like they were just fired and then he's in. So
within about 6 hours.
Yeah, so it must have been pre-planned. I imagine that Marinakis, is that what he's called? Kind of was thinking about it for a while after falling out with him, and Nuno actually sort of calling him out to the press and stuff, and just actually telling them that he'd fallen out. So the guy was probably thinking that he's gone in the international break ASAP. So I don't know if it's the best appointment. It feels kind of strange, but it's not the first or the second season for Ange at his club, so Forest are going to do nothing this year.
He really does piss me off a little bit, and I don't know. It just seems like he's got this huge ego about him, and which I suppose you probably got to have as a manager. But the way he talks, in the press conference today, that it is sort of unveiling, is I'm a winner, mate. I've been winning where I've gone, which is true and fair. I think I don't know. It's like he likes that attention and that I can prove you wrong attitude. I'm fascinated to see how with that group of players who've been playing under such let's be fair, defensive minded coach last season who was happy to try and win 1 or 2-0 and then defend a lead, how they're going to try and switch and now play Ange ball, which is usually just chaos and resulted in Spurs finishing 17th last season. So I just think it's crazy. And an Arsenal away game up next doesn't obviously mean much because he's got the exclusive. I've only had a few days with the players. I think it's gone from what was probably going to be a 1 or a 2-0 game for Arsenal to what could be like a 4-1 game now. Yeah,
quite possibly. So I'll sort of start with the defense. Saliba, I think, is supposed to be missing this one, as far as we know, as of right now. Arsenal defense XGC 2.3, second best of all teams. Timber, as we did talk about last time, 0, 24, and 2 so far. So he's obviously capable of big hauls. White, as far as I know, is still a doubt. And then, Saliba, as I said, is still a doubt. So Calafiori also seems like a good option on a free hit. But I guess you'd probably just go Gabriel, maybe just for minutes.
Yeah.
But he's not a DEFCON beast, as we've talked about. He's not been getting that reliably. So maybe because it's a free hit, you go for it does. I do have Timber in there at the moment. You go for the one with the attacking potential. Calafiori's got 2 13s in a row and then a 2. So either one of those probably fine. It depends what minutes is going to happen. Lewis Skelly, definitely not free. Well, not definitely, but probably not first choice now. So it probably is the Timber, Gabriel. I mean, I don't even know who the second centre back. Maybe Timber will go into centre back. That could happen. I'm not. Maybe Lewis Skelly plays and Calafiori plays on as well. So that could happen. And Timber goes into the centre.
He's got options.
But Calafiori is also a centre back. He used to be. So he's doing the sort of Pep thing of making centre backs fullbacks, isn't he? So. So any of them could be fine, I think. And I think maybe it's a little bit of a question mark because of they're missing their best centre back other than Gabriel. So will they definitely get a clean sheet? But it remains to be seen. But I think you probably do want one of their defenders on.
Yeah, I agree. It just looks like a cleanable fixture, and with the change of manager, you just don't know what you're going to get from Postecoglou. And let's be honest, Forest's team has not been great so far this season anyway, and Arsenal have been really good defensively. So I think it makes sense to back Arsenal. If anything, I'd like maybe double Arsenal defense over double Palace defense for this one.
Really? Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Maybe if you had the money. I think the only the main question I got after looking at this one is did you not, I don't know, did you consider a no Salah, Haaland, but then triple Liverpool otherwise draft just because Haaland's been such a beast so far this season?
I did, yes. It just meant that I couldn't really afford Pedro or Gyökeres. So that was just do I want to do that?
Yeah.
I would like Haaland if I could, but then at the same time, Gyökeres, his XG versus Liverpool really bad, 0, versus Liverpool versus Man United as well, 0. So as we said in the other show, are they definitely going to score a lot in this game? You just said 4-1. I don't know. I think it could just be a 1-0, 2-0, maybe. I don't know if Arsenal score a lot in this game, but Madueke looked really good for England. If he starts, I think he could do really well. But then there's Eze as well, so he probably starts, I guess. There's options in those other places of real differentials in that Arsenal attack that you could go for too. So there's so many choices on the free hit reel, honestly.
Could you not get Haaland for instead of João Pedro, and then spend 7-ish million on someone instead of Salah? I'm trying to think.
Semenyo or something like that. Semenyo's got, I think it's Brighton at home, isn't it?
That's right. Or even a Newcastle mid if there's one clear one available, maybe Barnes is a real punty one. Against Wolves.
Yeah, you could for sure.
Grealish against Aston Villa at home seems quite nice.
Previous team sort of thing. Yeah, don't mind it. Yeah.
So it might just spread the risk of the triple Liverpool a little bit. And although I do think Salah's probably favourite captain shout this week, but Haaland obviously against Man United is always a good captaincy shout as well, to be honest.
True.
Right, let's just go back to your current team then, just to wrap up.
Okay.
If you give me a mo.
Yeah, it looks significantly worse.
So obviously, like you say, the benefit, I suppose, of playing the free hit is that you get another week worth of seeing if your team actually needs a wild card, because it doesn't look next week. It might be fun. It might be a bit better with not seeing Wood playing away against Arsenal with 2 good fixtures coming up, and Bruno then not playing City away.
Yeah. So I would like to not wild card, basically, because I think the team looks okay if I just do a couple moves, but then the free hit could be upside massively, basically.
Yeah, it's tricky. And then just obviously you don't want to spend either to get Salah in this week. You're just taking another week of another -4.
Yeah, I don't care about that now, because the rank is so bad at the moment anyway that like it's almost just for long-term ish of just covering a really good captaincy, and just I'm probably so far down that if I cover captaincy and the rest of my team does fine, like I'd probably still get a green, because the rank is that bad.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So yeah, I don't mind taking a hit, really. Like, I mean, I've already taken one hit, and no free transfers rolled in the first 3 weeks. So here comes the second one, possibly.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. All right, let's move on and talk about my team, which by comparison, it's probably got. I've had fewer things to think about this international break. So I started it thinking I need to get Gakpo, and I nearly on the sort of the first Sunday night, I remember messaging you saying, maybe if I get Gakpo now, and I was trying to think of, should I get rid of Wirtz, because I still wasn't fancying him after watching that Arsenal game. That was right. If I could have sold Strand Larsen and sold Wirtz and got something like Gyökeres and Gakpo in the team, or
Did you do that?
No, it was some like combination of that, or João Pedro. I can't remember, but I was thinking, I could do a -4 on the Sunday of an international break. That's a great idea. But yeah, that I didn't go for that idea. So I think the team probably looks okay as is. So Sanchez in goal, Murillo, Pedro Porro, Agdebu at the moment in the back line. Salah, Bruno, Semenyo, Wirtz, Shrewsbury Hall, Watkins, Pedro. I've got flags on Rodon and Strand Larsen. If Rodon, even if Strand Larsen's clear to play, I'm probably not going to play him this week, because at that position it's between him or Shrewsbury Hall, and I don't really fancy any player going to St James's Park, let alone a sort of semi-injured Strand Larsen. If Rodon is cleared fit, he will play instead of Murillo. But if he isn't, I will play Murillo over a Steve, just for DEFCON chance. I've got one free transfer. The move I'm actually thinking of making this week is Agdebu out to Senesi, because Senesi's been pretty decent for DEFCON. Wolves, like you mentioned, have been absolutely woeful from an XGC point of view. And I actually looked at, even though I had this nice rotation sort of planned with Agdebu, Rodon and Steve, I kind of think even if I get Senesi, I just would like have the option of perma playing him. And Bournemouth's long-term fixtures are really nice still.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
So I feel like
9 weeks of good fixtures.
Yeah, so I feel like he would just not be 3 home games in the next 4, Brighton, Newcastle and Fulham. They got away against Leeds, Palace, home against Forest, and then 2 tough games against City away and Villa away before like another big run of games. So yeah, I feel like if I get him now, he feels like if he gets some more points this weekend, it's just going to be even more price rises. So that seems quite likely to me. And last week I kind of spoke a little bit about the strategy of maybe bench boosting in game week 5 or free hitting in game week 6 to get Haaland. But I kind of think I'm looking at it now, and for that Burnley game, I reckon I could roll a transfer in game week 5 and then have 2 free transfers for game week 6, when a lot of people might be using their free hit to get Haaland for that Burnley game, and maybe able to get Haaland in for, Watkins or Pedro, transfer Salah out when he's away against Palace for someone who's around the 5 to 7 million bracket, and possibly triple captain Haaland. So yeah, a little bit of future planning, but yeah, I think that's where we are at the minute.
Yeah, you're able to future plan, whereas I'm just I'm panicking and just doing whatever I can at the moment.
Fighting it a little bit. I know you've just been unlucky with injuries, haven't you? Really.
Yeah. Which maybe says probably a wild card is a smart idea, just to get the team in like a stable, functional place.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably a good overview of both our teams. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this week, I think. No more content. Like as I said at the beginning of the video, if you like what you've watched, please hit that like or subscribe button. It'd be great to hit that 4,600 number. Looks juicy. And yeah, if you've got any comments, dilemmas about your team, pop them in below this video, and yeah, we'll try and get to as many before the deadline, which I think is Saturday morning this week.
I think so, yes.
I think Arsenal-Tottenham is the midday game. Arsenal-Tottenham? I'm still thinking Andrew's manager. Arsenal-Forest game is midday.
Okay.
Cool. All right. We'll catch everyone next week, next Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks all.
Cheers then. Bye-bye.